And even of like peers who are like working in like finance or in legal or whatever it is, like even they're at the point where it's like the only thing I can come up with right now is like just try my best to like rise some ladder in my domain that is like become a decision maker and do not be an analyst equivalent role for whatever my domain is. And that's the best thing that you can like plan for effectively. Um, which is super interesting. I think like I find even for myself like in the consulting or whatever I'm doing, like it's almost easier for both myself and the person on the other end to just say like, I'll just help your folks like learn how to use this stuff rather than like be an engineer for you. Because what's the point of me being an engineer if like even now like engineering is becoming like pretty trivial at the software layer, right? Um, which I don't know. I don't know how to like process it truly. Like I think a lot of this attitude of like even the concept of like don't even build a startup with vision. Just try to assemble a team of like relatively curious and smart people who work well together and just dance enough that you get picked for an acquihire at one of these labs is almost like every now and again tempting. And I see that playbook happen here every like couple of days. You know, like it's very clearly like three like Stanford grads or like some MIT folks who like don't have a plan, but they all know like the kernel layer of an LLM running, and they'll just focus on tinkering with that loudly, effectively. And that becomes their startup plan, which is very much not what like Silicon Valley was, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think I think there's some element of again, I guess existential dread that is being
Mm-hmm.
felt among people that are adjacent to the technology. Certainly, the folks that are in the labs themselves. I find planning to be a little bit of a exercise in futility just for the things that you
Right.
said. It feels, even trying to guess where we're going to be 6 months from now and a year from now feels very challenging. That's uniquely challenging for me, given my day job is somewhat prediction based, meaning like, take a bet on
Yeah.
this startup or take a bet on that startup. And so we certainly have some frameworks in which